This is DLD, Connect the Unexpected. Aren't you amazed by this fabulous woman? Really, they are doers. They are not talkers. It's so important to get into the doing mode, not in the talking mode. I'm a talker. Good. Thank you, dear Rockies, dear Foxes, dear Witches. Amazing to see you all here. Please stay for the next session, which is very dear and important to DLD. The Aenne Burda Award for Creative Leadership, established in the memory of the father of Hubert Burda, grandfather of Jakob and Elisabeth. Aenne Burda was the founder of Burda magazine, and this was the foundation for all the greatness of Burda. You see this rather kitschy person here next to me. It's Athena, the goddess of wisdom. And why is it so painted? Normally, our perspective on the former goddesses, on the Greek goddesses, they are white, elegantly statues. We all love them, adore them, and learn about them in history. But recently, we found out that they were painted, they were kitschy, they were colored, they were amazingly like this. So we thought we should all have this kind of perspective change. We don't have to do things for granted, see things for granted. These white, elegant goddesses were like this in Greece, in antique Greece. And our perspective has to change. So again, to the Aenne Burda Award. Each year, we celebrate a woman whose life and work reflects Aenne Burda's extraordinary journey. Aenne emerged as a trailblazer in the post-World War Germany, breaking societal barriers with her unyielding spirit, courage, and determination. She wanted to change something. She wanted to, after the post-war Germany, she wanted to make German wives chic, and she invented the sewing pattern. Maybe your grandmothers know how to sew to nice robes and so. And with this, the Burda Empire started. So, in honor of her, we give this prize to Outstanding Woman. We gave it to Ariana Huffington, Zaha Hadid, Esther Dyson, who is with us. Here she is. Esther, come with me. I was in your living room and I saw the statue. We awarded Mitchell Baker, many more. 18 times we did this. And it gives me great pleasure to call on stage for the laudatory speech of DLD 24, a former award winner, Auguste von Bayern. She's chairwoman of Munich's newly established Life Science Museum, Biotopia, and leads the Comparative Cognition Research Group at the Max Planck Institute for ornithology. Auguste is a fighter. She's really a fighter, and she's very contagious in her fight for this Biotopia Museum. We all fight for it, that it takes place, that it will be built. Biotopia will be the new museum for life sciences in Munich. Remember, all of you know the Deutsches Museum. Even Steve Jobs visited several times. The Deutsches Museum is the museum for industrial techniques. But I help you with this, we will establish the Life Science Museum for Munich, and it will have the same impact as the Deutsche Museum had in the last century.
Yes, it will help us. It will help us to transform society towards net zero, nature positive. That's the goal behind it.
Yes.
That's why I'm fighting for it. And yes, I'm standing here in front of you in Michael John Gorman, the founding director of Biotopia, should have given the speech, and he's asked me to read his speech for you, Sandrine. and he can't be here because he is severely ill. So I'm going to read his speech, unfortunately with a rather Bavarian rather than Irish accent. But before I start, I wanted to tell you a little anecdote of my first encounter with Sandrine. It was indirect. So I always knew she was and is brilliant, but actually my husband, who's somewhere here in the audience, he went to one of Steffi's luncheons and Sandrine was speaking. He returned home and it happened never before I had something like that with him. We live in a, I hope like all of you, in a marriage with equal powers or shared responsibility. He came back and told me, disempower all men, let females rule the world. That was his only comment. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with profound respect and immense pleasure that I mean, this is, it should be saying that Auguste reads this to you today as we gather to honor an exemplary leader and a true champion for sustainable development in climate action, Sandrine Dixson-Declève. Today, we celebrate her exceptional vision and unwavering commitment to the betterment of our world as she is awarded the prestigious Aenne Burda Award here at DLD. The Aenne Burda Award, named in memory of the influential German entrepreneur Aenne Burda, recognizes outstanding innovation and creativity in women. Like its namesakes, this accolade is a testament to pioneering spirit, leadership, and a profound impact on society. As we acknowledge Sandrine's accomplishments, we are reminded that just as Aenne Burda broke new ground for women in publishing, Sandrine has been an equally formidable trailblazer in the realms of sustainability and global policy advocacy. Sandrine Dixson-Declève has a career spanning over 3 decades, marked by determination, expertise, and a prophetic understanding of the ecological and social challenges faced by our generation. She has consistently been at the forefront of policymaking, advising leaders and engaging with institutions to shape a world that values resilience and intergenerational equity. It is through her role as a catalyst for change that she has cemented her status not only as an expert, but as a beacon of hope and action. As the first female co-president of the Club of Rome, and through her extensive work with the European Union, Sandrine has been instrumental in pushing for systematic change, emphasizing the need for a socio-economic transformation that centers on human well-being and ecological sustainability. She has provided critical insight and leadership processes that led to high-impact outcomes, such as the European Green Deal, which laid a blueprint for the EU's path to climate neutrality. Sandrine does not paint a picture of inevitable doom, but instead inspires us to urgent action, showing us pathways to a livable future. This is demonstrated vividly by her hugely important initiative, Earth for All, which proposes 5 key turnarounds based on computer modeling that will achieve prosperity for all within planetary limits in a single generation. The first is transform and accelerate human development in low-income countries by reforming the international finance and trade system. Second, transform wealth distribution by ensuring the wealthiest 10% have no more than 40% of national income. Third, transform energy systems to halve emissions of greenhouse gases by every decade. Fourth, transform agriculture. The food system must become regenerative and nature positive. And fifth, transform gender power imbalances, empower women, and invest in education for all. It sounds simply, right? Just 5 key steps to save the world. And all of these solutions are within our reach. Sandrine's contributions have spanned across numerous subjects, from energy to finance, and her adaptability to navigate and connect these complex systems demonstrates her profound understanding that the challenges we face are interconnected, requiring holistic and inclusive solutions. Sandrine has been a voice for global ecosystems, advocating for bold and equitable actions that do not just minimize harm, but actively restore and enrich our planet. Sandrine is arguably a key environmental activist of our time. But rather than being a protester, her route to environmental action is as a convener, a connector, and a facilitator of difficult conversations, bringing together business leaders, policymakers, academia, and NGOs to unpack complex challenges. Her flair for strategic communication enables her to translate the urgency of environmental stewardship into actionable roadmaps that inspire participation and commitment from all sectors of society. In a time where women's leadership in climate and sustainability is more vital than ever, Sandrine's career is a testament to what visionary leadership looks like. She's not only a herald of systemic change, but an empowering role model for future generations of women leaders who will continue the fight for a just and green transition. Her work serves as a guiding star for those who aspire to make a tangible difference to the world. Both Sandrine and Aenne Burda share a commonality that goes beyond their individual accomplishments. They symbolize a changing tide in leadership where values of persistence, innovation, and a commitment to the greater good rise above the traditional metrics of success. This award, therefore, is not just a reflection of what Sandrine has achieved, but of the ethos she embodies, one that echoes Aenne Burda's legacy of impactful and enduring change. Furthermore, through her cutting-edge research and thought leadership, Sandrine has enriched the fabric of the knowledge community. She's been a prolific contributor to scholarly and policy-oriented discussions, translating the complexity of climate science and economics into comprehensive strategies that can be adopted by nations and businesses alike. By doing so, she has forged a path that countless others can follow, outlining a clear map towards a sustainable future that reflects planetary boundaries while fostering economic vitality. Her commendable ability to look beyond the horizon and act with courage and foresight is precisely what the Aenne Burda Award celebrates. It is about recognizing those who do not shy away from the challenges of our time, but embrace them with creativity and passion. Last page. Sandrine's work has been propelled by an innate wisdom to know that real strength lies in unity and genuine progress is achieved through inclusion and empathy. As we honor Sandrine Dixson-Declève with the Aenne Burda Award, we're not just applauding her impressive resume of positions and recognitions. We are also lauding her integrity, her fearlessness, and her remarkable impact on her of her tireless advocacy. We agree acknowledging her role as a key architect in shaping economic and environmental policy, in defining what it means to be a responsible leader in the 21st century, and in reminding us all that there is a path toward a sustainable future through collective action, innovation, and the indomitable strengths of the human spirit. In a world that is often tangled in the complexities of global challenges, Sandrine's clear vision and steadfast determination shine as a beacon to guide us forward. Her achievements are numerous as they are impactful, and her message is simple as it is profound. We have the power to build a sustainable, equitable, and thriving world if we only dare to try. Please join me in a warm and heartfelt congratulation to Sandrine Dixson-Declève, an inspiration to us all and a deserving recipient of the Aenne Burda Award. May her journey continue to spur us to action, and may her legacy be as enduring as the sustainable world she envisions. Thank you. This is such
You deserve it so much. Auguste, thank you for this elaborated, wonderful speech. Michael John, wherever you are right now in your bed, thank you for this. You seem to be a true admirer, as we all are. By the way, these are my colleagues from Burda, and so we all happy to give you this.
Thank you so much. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. I am so appreciative. Let me take my phone back. Sure. And you wanted me to say a few things.
If you want, please.
Yes.
Just a few.
Yeah. I will, and I will also show you a little film, which I think will be inspirational, and I hope it will be. I think that would be great, because this weighs a ton.
I'll take it. And we put it here somewhere.
First of all, dear Steffi and Burda, I'm moved to tears. Truly. I have indeed been blessed with an incredible career. And I'm moved to tears because clearly these awards are a reflection of a community. They're never a reflection of a person. I wouldn't be here today without an incredible man by my side. And we talk about the empowerment of women, but we forget that there are other women or men behind them who truly enable them to be themselves. And my husband, and this is for all the men here who are supporting an incredible woman, or woman who's supporting an incredible man. My husband has suffered personally from being asked so many times, why are you picking up the kids from school? Where's your wife again today? Why the hell is she traveling somewhere else? Or your children who ask you, Mama, can you please come to my ballet lesson, when you're actually in Saudi Arabia trying to tell them to clean up their fucking oil and gas. It's not easy. It's incredibly hard, and as Lisa so rightly said, we're at a time where it's getting increasingly hard. We have the highest amounts of anxiety, of burnout, of suicide that we've ever seen. And those of us who are working in the field of climate change or in the field of development are truly on the front lines of the data, the knowledge overload, and the deep grief. I started my career, in fact, I'm born in 1966. The Limits to Growth was born in 1972. 1968, the Club of Rome was actually launched by an incredible businessman, Aurelio Pace. And to think that that whole history is actually part of my history, sometimes I look at my CV and I say, how did this happen? how did I get here? Starting off with working with Al Gore in 1989, talking about climate change. And still we are where we are today. Being the co-president of the Club of Rome, who published The Limits to Growth in 1972 and predicted where we would be today. And here we are. Every single day, I vacillate between hope and despair. It's been an incredible personal and community journey for me, and I'm sharing this because it hasn't always been easy. I myself suffered a burnout. And so I share it also as a way to demonstrate the vulnerabilities of all of us as we do this work, and to realize that the only thing that gives me solace, and I think many of us as we come together, and that's what we saw in Greenland, and that's what we saw through Aenne Burda's vision, and that's what we see in a variety of people coming together to talk about the inner development as well as the outer development. We absolutely have to come back to a spirit of humanity. We have to become human again. We do need to love, Lisa. We need to laugh. We need to live. We need to dance, as we danced last night. We need to sing. But we need to do it in such a deep way that we realize that we're doing it because we are a collective, because we are proud to be part of the human species, and because we are proud to be part of this planet called home. And that is what now, starting to come to the end years, I hope not, but closing off 35 years of career, I'm realizing through the Club of Rome. We talked about storytelling. Where the Club of Rome got it wrong is that they weren't able to take that publication further and tell the story so that people could understand how deep that story is in terms of their own personal survival. That is what Earth for All, a survival guide for humanity was. It was a commemoration of the 50th anniversary of the Club of Rome and of the Limits to Growth, but it was also rethinking the story, figuring out the narrative. How could we work with the business community to inspire them to think about this not about profit? Shifting to green is only about profit, rather than this is the only way, because there are no green technologies on a dead planet. This is our survival plan, and we want to be on the good part of history. We want to create a legacy. How can we talk to citizens, the German citizens right now and the farmers that are protesting, and telling them, we can do this better, and yes, we need to subsidize it, hence we get rid of the defense budget, hence we get rid of the subsidies that we have on industrial agriculture and on energy, which are trillions of dollars, and we create a just transition fund for every single country, or a universal basic dividend, and we heard about the power of a universal basic income, and we enable our communities to thrive, both rural and urban. And no, we will not hike up your diesel price. Instead, we will compensate so that you in the street, you citizen, are actually enabled in becoming a green citizen. We have so many perversities in the market. We have so many perversities in our systems. We have so many perversities in our conversations that we need to cut them now and go back to becoming human again. Recognize them. Say, what the hell did we do? Neoliberalism is fucked up. It didn't work. That's the greatest wake-up call. Capitalism did not work. Why? because we enabled it to become over-financialized so that shareholder value takes a premise over people value. Now, if capital was valued upon nature and people, and thank you for the clapping, then yes, a new type of capitalism could be born. In fact, the original economic system that was going to enable capital to build business and economies could have actually continued properly if it hadn't been subjected by greed, arrogance, and pure profit motive. Our economies are not geared to service us. It makes no sense if you fire 10,000 people and your shares go up. Why? Number one, because you haven't taken into consideration the human costs. Medical costs will go up, unemployment will go up, the cost to the state goes up. That is why, in the work that we're doing now, and the work that I hold so dear, and I think probably my legacy, Earth for All, A Survival Guide for Humanity, I fundamentally believe that we can create an Earth for All. And what I want to do is show you a short film, because again, I am part of a community, my family community, who enabled me to come here and accept this award. Burda, who are offering it to me. My incredible friend Felicitas, who introduced me to Steffi. Steffi then, who not only has been supporting my work and also my previous book by translating it into German, has empowered me to continue to do my work when on those days I wake up with the despair. The community of incredible women that are supporting me, but also men who have stood by my side. So I am a community, and I wanted to share that with more communities, and that's what Earth for All is about. Since we actually published that book, we've had the Ukraine and multiple economies come to us and ask us to help them rebuild or transform their economies. We've had a youth symphony that was inspired to use the book in a way to develop a symphony. We've had festivals across the globe, and we have now 2 Netflix films and a documentary, which I'm going to show you, by Sky, because the Pope invited us to come to Rome. That is the community. For me, that's more important than anything I could have done, is inspire other people to then take on and feel empowered to be able to continue further. And as you will see, there's a story of 4 women who read the book and decided to come to Rome to talk about how it's inspiring their lives across the globe in changing the world. That ricochet effect is so fundamental. And I hope that when we all leave this room, we'll remind ourselves that nothing is about just me. It's about the we. Do you want to put the film in?
Le ferite portate all'umanità dal cambiamento climatico sono paragonabili a quelle derivanti da un conflitto globale.
I'm Maya Gabeira. I'm a big wave surfer from Brazil. I grew up to be a surfer and to be in the ocean and to love the blue.
My name is Lysipriya Kangujam. I'm 11 years old. I'm an Indian climate activist and founder of the Child Movement. I'm working as a special envoy for the President of Timor-Leste.
My name is Ineza. I am an ecofeminist based in Rwanda. I am part of the community who is facing most impact of the climate change.
My name is Sophia Kiani, and I am a 21-year-old Iranian-American climate activist and social entrepreneur. And I'm also a junior at Stanford studying science, technology, and society.
face tremendous challenges. I mean, not only are we scientifically showing that we're coming close to unmanageable and irreversible changes, we're also, unfortunately, not seeing policy, economy, societies acting in par with what the scientific evidence is showing is necessary. The Earth for All fundamentally is the 50-year update of the Limits to Growth. The Limits to Growth was this seminal report led by a group of system dynamics modelers at MIT, coordinated by the Club of Rome in 1972, that for the first time tried to project the future of the world economy and world development into the future. And what we decided was it was time to do the 50-year update. In 2022, we published the Earth for All report, updating it to the Earth for All model to have more climate, better representation of finance and equity and agriculture and economics, to try and answer the following question: can we envisage a world that develops within planetary boundaries? So basically having a world that can develop on a stable planet, and look at scenarios to the future to see what may be plausible outcomes.
We realized that we couldn't just do the modeling. We needed to bring the modelers together to look at the integrated elements of how we shift today's society in order to function within finite boundaries and what types of solutions we needed. We came up with two key scenarios. One, which is the business as usual scenario, or the too little too late scenario, and the other, which is the giant leap scenario. And what we saw very clearly was that in the too little too late scenario, which is basically today, we would not actually bridge the gap between the poverty line and the wealthiest. And therefore, this is a little bit what we call the road to hell. The hopeful scenario is the giant leap scenario. The giant leap scenario is a scenario that takes into consideration the needs of today's society and today's citizens across the globe.
The too little too late pathway will just gradually take us into very, very dangerous territory. We will fail on climate, we will fail on biodiversity, we will transgress the planetary boundaries, and we will start really undermining human well-being as the planet starts sending more and more invoices back to the economy. The giant leap trajectories takes us essentially towards a trajectory that can give better outcomes for humanity in harmony with a stable and manageable planet.
Problem is that things are interconnected. So if you start to do just something on energy, but you don't do something on inequality, then you can make inequality worse, and that will impact the energy back in a bad way. The big 5 turnarounds that we found in the system are like levers in a big machine, are eradicating poverty, addressing inequality, creating true gender equity, so that women are not let out but have a more equal standing. The fourth is to transform the food system, and finally the energy system, which drives all the four others by giving everyone access to clean energy, which means abundant renewables.